Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. I have with me today Justin Lindsey, and Justin is this wonderful corporate citizen. You're a franchisee owner of Chick-fil-A Kendall, and one of my favorite places to eat. And although I don't go to the one in Kendall, I gotta fess up. So, and we recently met at an event you did with the Wow Center. So we're going to talk about that. So thank you for coming, Lynn.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Before we start, I have to thank our show sponsor, South Florida PBS. If you're not a member, you need to be. There are so many good shows coming up now. Changing Seas. They have a lot of stuff for, for kids. They have allhealthtv.com, which you can go to and get free medical advice or just ask questions. You can go, they have a show, it's called Sex Talk with Dr. Leah. You can ask. Very, very informative. It sounds like it might not be, but it might be pornographic or something, but it's on the contrary, super informative, and I recommend it. And so let's get down to what we came here to talk about, the Wow Center.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they tell me about how you got involved in the Wow Center.
Yeah. So about
and tell us what the Wow Center is, first of all.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people may not know.
Yeah. So the Wow Center is a nonprofit here in Miami-Dade County that helps to empower young people that have developmental disabilities to get them independent, to get them job opportunities. And so about 5 years ago, I reached out to them and said, hey, what can I do to partner with you all to help these young people to get jobs, perhaps in the restaurant, like just get them some experience, just get them the opportunity to come out, and whether it's even just for a short period of time, right? Just to get to experience like making a milkshake. And I remember joking with them about it. I said, hey, what if we could just, get them have an opportunity to just come in and have fun, right? Just have a fun day at the restaurant. And so that's kind of how the partnership started with the Wow Center.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And so then you got them doing so many other things.
Yes.
They started recently. They made centerpieces for your tables.
That's correct. Yeah.
And how did that come about?
Well, so I'm always looking for innovative and creative ways to improve our guest experience just in the restaurant. And so I was looking in our dining room and just trying to think of what's something really innovative and creative that we can do for the guests as they're sitting there, having their meal in our dining room. Like what's something different that we could do that I think would be really impactful. And so I reached out to the Wow Center and spoke to them and said, hey, could you come up with some kind of like a centerpiece? And they said, yeah, we do these arts and crafts classes and with the young people here at the Wow Center. And so maybe what we could do is come up with these like ceramic flowers and put them in vases and paint them, the Chick-fil-A cow colors, right?
Right.
And provide them for your guests to be able to look at while they're eating their meal in the dining room. And what they came up with was just truly phenomenal. Like it was remarkable. Like I loved seeing the finished product.
I know, and it took quite a while to make all those.
It
How
did.
many did they end up making?
Over 30.
Yeah.
For one for each table in the dining room.
And those were a lot of flowers.
Yes, yeah, it was a lot of flowers. Took them months to prepare them. They literally had to roll the clay by hand, and there was the whole process that went on.
And I think
for
they
months.
got somebody to fire them for free.
Yes, I believe it was at FIU. Yeah.
At FIU,
FIU,
they
yeah.
took care of the
They did.
putting them in the kiln.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they turned out beautiful. We have a picture of it. You wanna go ahead and do that first video? And what did you give them breakfast that morning?
We did, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we took care of all the food for them, and the best part to me was just that when they reached out to me as they were going through the process of creating them, they kept telling me, they said the kids are having so much fun doing this. And I said, above all else, to me that was the win. I said,
sure.
it's great to have something like that for the guests to see, when they come and eat with us. But beyond that, just that the Wow Center, folks got this opportunity to go through this process of making those, to feel really special, to be able to bring them to the restaurant and put them in the restaurant, right? Take them table to table. That was a really cool opportunity.
I love seeing innovative things like that, know?
Yeah.
So then do we have another video? No, we don't. Okay, I thought we did. I knew I took pictures though.
Yeah.
But they were in the video.
Sure.
So tell me, what are you going to do? Do you have any plans to do anything in the future with them?
Always looking at different things. So, the conversation I'm sure will continue, and, I'm sure we'll come up with some really new, innovative things as well. Some other things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, how did you get involved in philanthropy and in, kind of serving the community? Because you must have learned it early on.
Yeah.
I suspect.
Yeah. I just honestly just look for opportunities, that arise and just kind of follow my heart. And just, that to me is one of the most paramount things of being in business. And it's the opportunity that we have is, hey, what can I do that, I feel like would make a positive impact on somebody's life? It's the same approach that I take, every day in the restaurant. It's just, walking around to the guest and refreshing drinks and things like that. It's truly just to like, hey, what little things can I find that, I think will bring a smile to somebody's face, and that's all it is.
That's just like the epitome of customer service.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And they go, I know the guy that owns this place. I got to go back there. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah. So we talked about, we're both Gators. Mm-hmm. Go Gators. So you have an interesting story. So I want to talk about your story too, because I find it fascinating. A history major who starts his own business in college.
Yes.
So tell me about that, because I love that story.
Yeah. So I started my first business when I was a student at the University of Florida in Gainesville. I grew up there, was born and raised there, went to high school there, went to college there. And
PK Young.
Yeah, PK Young High School. Yeah. I was a member of the Blue Wave, PK Young High School Blue Wave.
I had friends that were like doing internships there when they were in in education.
Right there on campus. And so I had the idea. I was raised by a family that's all entrepreneurs. My parents both owned businesses. My grandfather owned businesses, and so I just kind of had that entrepreneurship kind of bug from an early age, I guess, and so saw an opportunity and started a parking company. Just started as a very small little company with just one parking lot in downtown Gainesville, where we would charge people to park, and then it expanded from there into multiple parking lots and different valet parking facilities and things like that. And that was my first kind of journey into entrepreneurship, which I would later learn would help me tremendously as I prepared to become a Chick-fil-A owner. But at the time I was just a college student, and decided that I wanted to pursue a history degree, primarily because at one point I was going to drop out of college because I had the business and I was just very busy and just trying to keep up. And I was the first person in my family to ever go to college. And my mom had a long conversation with me one afternoon.
I bet she did.
And said, whatever you do, stay in school. And she said, I don't care what degree you get, but you need to get a degree. And so glad that she gave me that advice. But I kind of pivoted. I had taken some of the prerequisites for business. Right. And I said, I don't enjoy that. Like, that's all I do every day is business, right?
Right.
And she said, well, what do you enjoy? And I said, I love history. I said, I just love it. I love reading about history. I just love learning. I love writing. And so I was the person that got the history degree because I just truly loved history. Like it was fun for me to go to class every single day. I actually got excited for it. And so it was my escape from being able to leave the office and just go to class and just kind of walk into this different world, so to speak, to learn about different, European history, American history, et cetera.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, that's great. I was telling you, my husband, that was his love as well.
Yeah.
So he should have been a history teacher.
Yeah.
Never gotten into business. He should have just taught history. But it's funny that good for your mom that she made you stay in college.
Yeah.
I always remember it. Just, you're not going to believe it. 2 or 3 days ago, we had in our studio Emmett Smith.
Oh, that's awesome.
See, people appreciate that.
Yeah.
Gator.
Yeah.
Right.
Hall of Fame Gator. Yeah.
But I remember when he went to Dallas, he hadn't finished his degree. And he promised his mom he would go back and finish, and he did.
Yeah.
So good for you and Emmett.
Yeah.
I always thought, good, yeah.
No,
you need
yeah.
that. It's something nobody can ever take away.
Absolutely.
From.
Yeah. And I was very happy because my younger sister followed, and she
Really?
went on and got a PhD. She works now at the University of Florida. She's an adjunct professor there. So,
what does she teach?
So education, and she's a director there of the Disability Resource Center at the University of Florida. So her PhD's in special education.
Oh my goodness. So that kind of makes sense that you
Yeah, yeah. So we both have a
ended up where you were.
Yeah, so we both have a passion. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So do you get up there often?
Occasionally,
Yeah.
sometimes once or twice a year. All my family's still there.
What's so nice when you've got a family there?
Yes.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Because I used to have family up there and I don't anymore. So now there's no excuse to go except for football games or something.
Yeah.
But he's got time.
Sure.
It's a bit of a drag,
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yes,
to get
very
up
much.
there.
Yeah.
So tell me, after you so you sell, what do you do? Sell off your parking lots?
I did.
Okay.
Yes.
You sell off your parking lot, and then what do you do next?
You
were looking for opportunities?
Yes, I was. So I went to elementary school with a young lady whose dad has been a Chick-fil-A owner for over 30 years.
Oh.
And he was kind of like a mentor to me growing up. And so I called him after I sold the business and said, hey, can I come and meet with you? He owned the one in the Oaks Mall in Gainesville at the time.
Yeah, I know the Oaks Mall.
And so we met in the food court for what I thought was going to be a quick 30-minute meeting and turned into like a 3-hour meeting.
No.
And he started sharing with me about the Chick-fil-A opportunity. And he said, why have you not thought about Chick-fil-A? He said, you talk about all these different business opportunities that you can go into now that you've sold the parking lots, but like, why not Chick-fil-A? And I said, well, I'd never really worked in the restaurant, so I don't know anything about it. And he said, will you come and spend a little time with me? And he says, and you'll be hooked. You'll want to do this. And sure enough, I did. And I, after literally only a few hours with him, I said, yeah, this is what I want to do. And so then I applied. to become a Chick-fil-A owner. It took me 4 years.
Is that right?
Yeah. The interview process is pretty intense. I think the last statistic I heard is that you have a better chance at getting into Harvard than you do at getting a Chick-fil-A restaurant.
Is that right?
I saw that firsthand. It was a very long, tedious process. It was a long 4 years.
Did you have to work in the restaurant first
No.
Was there anything like that?
No. I never, officially worked in the restaurant. I did some shadowing with Steve Carroll, who was the gentleman that kind of introduced me to the brand.
Yeah.
I did some shadowing with him in his restaurant, but I never officially, worked as a team member or anything like that. I went through the process, and my entrepreneurship background helped tremendously to kind of go through that process and be a competitive candidate. But yeah, it was a long process. It was a really, really good process, to be honest, even with the length, being 4 years.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about myself and just patience and humility and all those sorts of things, because you go through, you start businesses at a young age while you're in college, you have a lot of success. And then all of a sudden, you have a company saying, hey, well, in your mind, you might be very successful, but in our mind, we have thousands of other candidates, right, who are just as successful as you are. And you're going to have to go through this long process. And then even going through it, you're not guaranteed that you're going to get a franchise at the end. Yeah. And so it was really exciting.
So while you were going through that process, how did you support yourself? Did you live on your savings, or
no.
how did that work?
Yeah, no, I worked for Liberty Mutual. I worked in insurance.
No way.
I got a job working in insurance.
My son-in-law is in-house counsel for them.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. And so
we have many connections.
Well, so we moved to South Florida. My wife got a job opportunity at Baptist Hospital, where she still works. And so we moved down here for that opportunity. And I had just applied when we moved down here. And then so I ended up going out, and that was my first real corporate job, which at the time I didn't know, really how that was going to go. Everything I'd ever done was work for my dad and his business growing up, and then start my own business.
Right.
And so really had no idea how that was going to work. It ended up being a really good experience for me, because it was some of the first experience that I had in watching like how formal meetings took place. And, when you own these small businesses, it's like, you're just kind of.
Yeah, it's not like you have a board meeting. Right.
Yeah. So there were all these different things that I learned just how to adapt to, because I'd never been through that. And I still believe strongly that like that experience helped me tremendously during that 4-year process of applying for a Chick-fil-A. Because I was learning how to communicate in different circles and in different ways, and deal with conflict in different ways between the different offices, and travel and balance your time, and going between Boston and South Florida and all these different things. And so it was a really good experience for me. Helped me tremendously, I think, to prepare for the Chick-fil-A opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, when you talked about learning how to be on a board and that kind of thing, I think that's how so many nonprofits develop leaders. So young people, like you're taking on people from Wow Center, and that's a great service. But young adults should be joining, nonprofit organizations like WOW and like others, and try to work your way up to get on the board. And you learn how to run a board meeting. You learn how to make mistakes.
Absolutely.
You're a volunteer, so if you make mistakes, nobody's going to fire you because you're volunteering.
Yeah.
But it's a way to try your wings.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you had the benefit of Chick-fil-A, but also own your own businesses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which, I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
I kind of did that too. I had my own business before I went into the nonprofit world, and now I still feel like I'm in the nonprofit world here at the paper. But I love doing it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you love what you're doing. And you really, have you thought about doing talks on customer service? Because you apparently have a great knack for it. And did Chick-fil-A teach you that, or was that a lot of it innate?
I've never really thought of doing talks on it, to be honest with you. My focus primarily is I do a lot of talks daily with our team. I think that's
what I mean. Yeah,
that's kind of where
you're like a coach.
Yeah, that's kind of my role every day is just talking to them about, hey, how can we create these second mile opportunities with our guests, and kind of roll out the red carpet for the guest, right? That's our whole kind of mentality. We have this motto there: treat every guest like the only guest. And so we talk to the team a lot on my kind of daily huddles, is what I call them. And where I talk to them that, hey, you may only be with the guest for 30 to 60 seconds, right? You're just taking an order quickly, but that 30 to 60 seconds is an amazing opportunity to kind of roll out the red carpet for that guest. Just smiling and just ask them how their day is, and just the little things, those like little precious things that you can do to just brighten somebody's day. And so that's kind of my daily talks with the team. It's
you know what?
That.
And
yeah.
I think corporations are catching on to that, because there are some big stores that I go into, occasionally pharmacies and whatever. And every time I walk in, there's a store in Doral that I walk in, every time I go in, somebody says, "Welcome to the store." They could be checking somebody out, but somebody in that store says welcome.
Yeah.
And even Sam's Club, they're great about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big box store.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that's why I'm saying you sound like you're one of those people that should be going around and doing like workshops for managers.
Well, to me, it's so simple. That's what I try to tell our team all the time. Is it's sometimes, just like you just shared. Sometimes we can kind of overcomplicate it. But I tell them, I said, hey, there's no script. It's just your opportunity to just talk to someone. And just when you're walking around the dining room, that was kind of the really one of the thoughts behind the WOW Center ceramic flowers is hopefully it gives us an opportunity to talk to the guest as we're walking around. It's like, hey, would you, like a refresh of your drink, gives us an opportunity for them to ask, potentially, hey, so what's the deal with the ceramic flowers?
Exactly.
Most Chick-fil-A's have, real fresh flowers in the dining rooms, and we have ceramic flowers. And so, hopefully it's an opportunity for us to share that, hey, this is a really unique opportunity that kind of lives out our mission, of serving the community.
Yeah. So it helps start a conversation.
Absolutely.
My granddaughter, she's so funny. She has beautiful nails.
Okay.
But I mean, she just graduated, but she was a college student.
Okay.
So I'm going, so you're spending a lot of money on those nails, And she goes, yeah. She says, but they pay for themselves. And I go, what are you talking about? She says, she was working as a waitress at an establishment in Orlando. And she says, my nails are so pretty. People are always commenting, and then it starts a conversation. I always get a bigger tip.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
So it's
a win-win.
It's a win-win. So but I always think about it. I go, oh man, that kid, she's got a business mind.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's fantastic.
Yeah, right.
Anything you can do to just make somebody's day. I mean, I think that's the value in that. Like you said, is just
to make it personal. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like when somebody says thank you when you bought something from them.
Sure. Yeah.
It doesn't take much.
Yeah.
But that interaction, and we're talking about that, how business is changing. We're ordering a lot online, but the sense of satisfaction in buying something is not there.
Yeah.
When you don't have that face-to-face with somebody.
Personal interaction.
So, personal interaction.
Yeah.
So do you find that as well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not a big Amazon guy. I still like to go the brick and mortar, and just I just like talking to people,
Yeah.
and just interacting with people, getting to know them, and that's what's so much fun about my job. That's why even 12 years into doing this, I literally love going to
Well,
the
you
restaurant.
obviously love people.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
helpful.
Yeah. I love going to the restaurant. I love talking to the team members. I love walking through the dining room and talking to the guests. And
Yeah.
I mean, it just brings me so much joy. And that's
Yeah.
and I think that's what's so special. Yeah.
And that leaves such a positive impact on the people
It
that
does.
you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what was I was thinking of something else I wanted to ask you about. So what is that watch?
Oh,
I just noticed.
yeah. So
What is that? Is that your Chick-fil-A watch?
No. So this is a brand.
Okay, show it.
Yeah.
You gotta see this watch. I don't know.
Here we go.
Can you see it?
You see
Oh
it?
wait, no.
Oh.
Look where's your camera? Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Okay, so what is that?
So it's a brand called Flex. It's an online brand.
Speaking of
Yeah,
bricks and mortar.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been able to find them in brick and mortar stores.
Okay.
But it's a brand called Flex, and so they sell watches that benefit different charities.
Oh.
And so this particular watch is the Autism Awareness Charity.
Oh my gosh.
And so 10% of all their sales go towards a charity. And so they have this one for autism. They have one for clean water. They have one for I think military veterans and different things like that. So they have
Wow.
environmental ones. And so they have a breast cancer awareness, Alzheimer, all kinds of different watches.
Oh my goodness.
And so it spoke to me just because, we employ people that have autism, and
Yeah.
it's a special charity to me. And so
Yeah.
all their watches are, I think they're $40. And
But that's so cool looking.
and I thought it was really neat, and it's interchangeable. So you could wear like a breast cancer awareness kind of band with an autism face, and they can so it's just a fun watch. The team thinks it's fun. Like when I'm walking around the restaurant, I still have team members that are new to us that'll ask me about it, and it gives me an opportunity to share.
Just like the nails.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Even the same with guests. And so for years, guests had asked me about the watch that I wear. And they're like, so, hey, is that autism? And I said, yeah, it's autism awareness.
Yeah, so they knew, they
And
recognized it, huh?
and so that was kind of the idea with the Wow
So do you have
Center
more than
thing.
one?
I do. I have a couple of them. Yeah, I have a couple. I've had a couple that have gotten ruined at the restaurant over the years, and so I have to replace them. But
my
yeah,
gosh.
it's a fun watch
Oh,
to
I'll
wear.
have to go.
and,
So
yeah.
what is it called?
It's called Flex.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look into that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a
I
really,
love that.
really, really fun thing.
And I have a
Yeah.
lot of charities. How many charities do they do it for? Do you know?
There's quite a few on there.
So
You
I
can
guess-
kind of go through the different ones, and it tells you the story of the charity and the give back opportunity, and so I thought it was pretty special.
For $40,
Yeah.
that's a deal.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of special when I first heard about it, and I thought, hey, it looks fun. It goes towards a good charity. It's for a good purpose, and so it was a nice thing to get. I thought.
So they should be sending you another watch for your plug.
Yeah. That's,
Oh my
we'll
gosh.
see.
So tell me, what do you expect to do? You're not involved in anything right now other than WOW, which is like a huge commitment.
Sure.
But I know you and I talked about, I do a lot of fundraisers.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping you're going to help me out a little bit. Yeah, we do a Gringo Bingo fundraiser once a month for the Coral Gables Women's Club.
Sure.
And in fact, we get, we have a dental clinic for needy children.
Mm.
And across the street from our clubhouse and the dental clinic is a Crystal Academy.
Okay.
And that's a school for children with autism.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's a wonderful school.
Yeah.
But we actually take the autistic children and get them acclimated to the dental chairs.
Oh, okay.
Because kids with autism, sometimes they're a little hesitant about going someplace they're not familiar with,
Sure.
and resist it.
Yeah.
But we've actually not only got them used to it, but we've actually been able to treat them.
Mm.
So the parents are so happy
Absolutely. Yeah.
because it's like one burden off their plate,
Absolutely. It's fantastic.
and it's
Yeah.
great for the kids with autism just grow up regular like everybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But they have to be given the opportunity.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's
So
what's so special.
I'm going to check into that Flex thing
Yeah.
because I have two nephews with autism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any children or whatever in your family, or do you have any of that in your family?
No.
that made you?
No,
It was just something that you and your sister kind of.
Yeah, we kind of bonded over that opportunity. You
Yeah.
know, just to make sure they had opportunities. Just to come and have fun. And
Yeah.
So
tell us about Nicolas, because
Yeah.
this is a kid I was able to meet when we had the launch.
Yeah.
And you had that little party for
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah.
So tell me about him. You hired him?
I did 5 years ago. He was one of the first folks that we hired from the Wow Center when we started kind of the partnership with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many of you hired?
Over the years now, it's probably been 8 to 10 people.
Yeah.
We've had even more than that have come and kind of shadowed at the restaurant. And that's kind of the conversation that I had with the Wow Center early on, was that, hey, this should just be a fun opportunity. We talk a lot about, retention numbers and all those sorts of things and turnover in the restaurant. I said, I don't want this to be that kind of conversation. I just want this to be, even if it's just for a day, just for them to come and experience, making milkshakes and talking to guests and carrying food to tables.
And
if
people
that's what
love
they want
that
to do.
when they see that.
Just to have a fun opportunity, know. And for Nick, it turned into, a job that he loves, he adores. I mean, he's worked with us now for 5 years. He's a trainer. He trains new team members in the kitchen.
I remember you telling me that. I said, oh my gosh.
I tell everyone, if you've ever eaten chicken in my restaurant, odds are Nick was one of the folks that prepared it for you. That's his specialty in our kitchen, is actually preparing and cooking the chicken in the fryer. So
is that right?
Yeah.
So that's probably the most important job there.
It is. It is one of the most crucial jobs in the
what
entire
dish doesn't
restaurant.
have chicken?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's one of the most crucial jobs in the entire restaurant, and Nick is one of our lead trainers for that. Like any new team member that comes into our restaurant, we have 170 team members in our restaurant. And any new team member that comes in, Nick is one of the first people that they meet, and one of the first people that actually walks them through the training process.
Right.
And so it's a crucial job, and we're just so happy that he's has this opportunity to be able to do that. He thrives in it. He loves it. He brings so much joy to me every day when I'm there. Just he's so excited, that even if I walk in and I'm having a bad day, I see Nick,
and all of a sudden it turns around.
It does. He calls himself Captain Nick. And he'll come over and run over to me and put his arm around me, and it's like, okay, I got nothing to be sad about. Like this I'm living a dream, being able to work with Nick here, and so it's really a special opportunity.
So really a blessing, huh?
It really is.
It really
is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky to be able to offer that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And do other Chick-fil-A's kind of follow in do your footsteps, or do they also do look for those opportunities?
Yeah. I think a lot of other Chick-fil-A's, have different partnerships with all kinds of different, nonprofit organizations.
Right.
Every Chick-fil-A is independently owned and operated.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of different owners, and and each has kind of their own passion in the community, and so for some that's sports and partnerships with sports and different things like that. For me, it was the Wow Center, and just doing everything and anything I possibly could to kind of bring attention to the mission that they're doing in the community, and it just so happens that they're right down the street from the restaurant, which is really convenient for them and for us, and so but yeah, that for me is kind of the flagship opportunity, is working with that nonprofit and bringing attention to the work that they do.
Well, I so appreciated being invited to the launch, and we got some pictures that are going to be in the paper.
Yeah.
And thanks for bringing the video. That was great. I don't think enough people know about the Wow Center.
Yeah.
But I know the basketball chair for the Junior Orange Bowl. I'm a member of the Junior Orange Bowl committee. We have teams traveling from out of state once a year. And they always go to the Wow Center, and they volunteer an afternoon and play with the adults. Yeah. Basketball. Yeah. And they have such a good time, and they always say that's the best part of their trip.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Even though they play in a tournament, maybe they win it.
Yeah.
But the best part of their trip was going to the Wow Center.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're doing a great job there, and I'm so glad that you partnered with them and are promoting them, and now maybe more people know about them.
Absolutely.
And can support them.
Hey, that's the whole goal.
They're a nonprofit. They could use the support, right?
Absolutely. That's the whole goal. It's just to bring attention to them. And that's why even with the centerpieces on the tables, we wanted to make sure that the Wow Center was front and center on those centerpieces. On
exactly.
The little
so
cards.
People ask about them.
Absolutely.
So great promo for them.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you believe our time is up?
Oh.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming. You are such a delight, and I hope we can work together on stuff in the future.
I look forward to it. It's truly my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And go Gators.
Go Gators.
Again, thank you, South Florida PBS, for sponsoring our show. If you're not a member, please go online, join. You get this magazine once a month. It tells you everything that's going on, and invaluable resource in our community, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So you have a good week, and tell everybody at the restaurant hi for me.
I will.
And how much I enjoyed visiting.
Absolutely.
And until next week, be kind, make a positive impact, and make a difference. Thanks for coming.
No, my pleasure.